What happens when highly trained soldiers become prey in their own mission? Major Kang stands in a desolate landscape, his tactical gear bloodied, facing a grim truth. The rescue operation has turned into a death trap. Triple the enemy forces. Elite soldiers, not militia. Every calculation wrong. The rattling sounds in the distance aren't just equipment. They're the echoes of betrayal. Clang. The first casualty hits the ground hard. Blood pools beneath a fallen soldier as his comrade screams, "Sergeant Kim." But there's no time for grief. A green-haired warrior grips his weapon, eyes blazing with deadly intent. Shadows move. "Jump," he roars. The ambush has begun. Thwack. Blood sprays as steel meets flesh. Major Kane awakens in a dimly lit holding cell, his muscular frame battered and bruised. A concerned soldier kneels beside him, but the news is devastating. His men, all taken, scattered like pawns across an enemy chessboard. Kane's jaw tightens. They're not just prisoners anymore. They're playing pieces in someone else's twisted game. A masked figure emerges from the shadows, hood obscuring his identity. His Korean is rough, imperfect, but the words that follow chill the room. "Are you Major Hanshan Kang?" The prisoner's blood runs cold. How does this stranger know his name? Who is this ghost that speaks their language and knows their secrets? The silver-haired phantom commands them to follow, his black mask concealing everything but cold efficiency. The prisoners exchange panicked whispers. Which division? How many troops deployed? But the terrifying truth becomes clear. All their guards are already down, knocked unconscious by one man. One impossible, unstoppable force moving through their ranks like death itself. The escape begins now. A scruffy young fighter crouches low, calculating his next move. "Jump," he shouts, launching himself past enemy weapons. Bam! His fist connects with devastating precision. Thud! Another body hits the floor. But in the darkness, a blade whistles through air with a deadly swish. Not everyone will make it out alive. Major Kane's eyes widen in terror as the mysterious figure appears in the doorway. Weapons ready, face concealed beneath a tactical scarf. Kachunk. Another soldier chambers around, warning Kane to hold his fire unless absolutely necessary. But confusion spreads. Who is this phantom? Which agency sent him? The hierarchy of command is crumbling. PSSHD. PSSHD. Gunfire erupts from the dark corridor as multiple hostiles close in. The muscular blonde soldier dodges desperately, light bursting against the walls. His jaw sets with grim determination. "Well, so much for keeping quiet," he growls. "Stealth is over. Now comes the storm." Panic spreads like wildfire. A prisoner raises his hands defensively, shouting, "Wait." But the silver-haired executor shows no mercy. Kachunk. His weapon speaks first. Military uniforms blur as gunfire rips through the corridor. No negotiations. No prisoners. Only the sound of chaos echoing through the halls. In the shadows, a scruffy fighter moves with calculated precision, weapon clutched tight. The soft scuttle of footsteps masks his approach. But observers watch in amazement. This isn't typical military strategy. Too reckless. Too audacious. What kind of soldier fights like this? And behind the wall, predatory eyes track every movement. Major Kane presses against the brick wall, anxiety etched across his bloodied features. The masked savior commands him to wait 1 minute. But why? Kane watches enemy soldiers stumble past, weakened and disoriented. The realization hits him like ice water. This phantom calculated everything. Every movement, every weakness, every escape route. The bloodied Major Kang confronts his mysterious rescuer directly. "Are you Korean?" he demands. The masked figure remains silent, rifle steady. "Time to move," comes the cold reply. They rush into the lush underbrush, leaving the nightmare behind. But Kang's heart breaks. His platoon, his brothers in arms, taken elsewhere. Some battles end in victory, others in unbearable loss. In the bright safety of green fields, Gratitude flows between soldier and shadow. Kang expresses his thanks, but the masked figure remains coldly professional. No need. I'm just carrying out a commission. A job. Nothing more. The warmth of daylight can't thaw the ice around this phantom's heart. But peace never lasts. A distant rumble grows to a roar. What's that sound? Someone asks. The scruffy fighter's eyes widen in alarm. Get down, he screams. In the distance, a massive explosion tears through the facility, shockwaves rippling outward. The mission isn't over. It's just beginning. Creep. The explosion echoes across the battlefield as Major Kane clutches his head in agony. Soldiers huddle together in the rubble. A red-haired man, two women, all struggling to hear over the ringing in their ears. I acid a mortar, someone shouts. But through the chaos, one truth emerges: they're still alive. Battered but breathing. Ta-ta-ta. Rat-a-tat. The masked phantom continues his one-man war, moving through smoke and gunfire like a force of nature. Kang watches in disbelief. This kid is still fighting alone against impossible odds. But something's different about this warrior. Something that defies every rule of engagement. 6 months later, everything changes. A bright classroom buzzes with teenage energy. A blonde student leans back with arrogant confidence, sneering at the newcomer announcement. Who the hell is this bitch? He mutters. But as the teacher introduces their new classmate, the atmosphere shifts. I'm Ijin Yu, the gray-haired boy says simply. Little do they know, a ghost has just walked into their world. School gossip spreads like wildfire. A girl with dark waves practically bounces with excitement, sharing news about the gorgeous transfer student she spotted in the office. Holy yes, asterisk, 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 guys. My heart's still pounding, her friend exclaims. Meanwhile, a quiet student wonders if this newcomer might be connected to her own mysterious past. Could it really be? In a moment of quiet reflection, a girl traces words in her notebook. My brother. 10 years ago, her family died in a plane crash. Or so she thought. Her heart dares to hope as airport signs flash. Terminal 2, Immigration Office. An elderly man grips the shoulders of a young man in a black suit. It's you. You're alive, he whispers, tears streaming down his weathered face. The reunion cuts deep. A girl watches in shock as family connections reveal themselves. That's my brother, she breathes, unable to process the moment. But in class, reality intrudes. The redhead teacher snaps at the distracted blonde boy. Stupid be asterisk, 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 asterisk. Do you have any idea how many times I shouted your name? Family ghosts and school drama collide in ways no one expected. The school hierarchy shows its teeth. A blonde girl in designer clothes commands a nervous brunette to surrender her gym uniform. The power dynamic is crystal clear: comply or face consequences. When the brunette dares to question what she'll wear, defiance meets swift punishment. Smack! The sound echoes through the classroom like a declaration of war. Classroom 3-2 becomes a stage for social theater. The girls whisper about putting someone back in their place with a public beating, but their attention shifts as the teacher announces the new student. The gray-haired boy in a blazer stands confidently, having lived overseas for years. Female hearts flutter instantly. OMG, he's hot. The blonde bully leans back, assessing this new player in his kingdom. Ijin Yu takes his assigned seat in the back, but hostile whispers follow. A curly-haired student in an orange tracksuit sneers, calling him a F asterisk asterisk asterisk, or in questioning what makes him so special. Just looks like a little B asterisk 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 to me, another adds. The new student walks slowly to his desk, every step measured. Tension builds with each passing second. The confrontation begins. Feet in flip-flops block Ijin's path as his challenger smirks. Let's see how you get past this one, the bully taunts. But something's wrong. The timing was perfect, the positioning calculated. Yet Ijin simply stops. SH asterisk T. I had it timed perfectly, the aggressor realizes. This new kid isn't playing by normal rules. The silver-haired Ijin assesses his opponent with cold precision. The muscular blonde challenges him directly. What be asterisk, 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 asterisk? You got a problem or something? But beneath the teenage posturing lies something deeper. Major Kang's voice echoes in Ijin's memory. Stay away from fights in Korea. Already know that, sir. Ijin had promised. Some promises are harder to keep than others. The classroom tension explodes into chaos. Stop. Hold it. Voices ring out as the brown-haired student won't back down. That's not what I'm talking about, he insists. The teacher intervenes, asking if something's wrong. Ijin quickly apologizes. No, ma'am. But the damage is done. Lines have been drawn. War has been declared in whispers and stares. The curly-haired bully's mockery continues. Good asterisk, asterisk, asterisk wimp. What a loser. But kindness cuts through the hostility as Yangshan offers to help Ijin prepare for class. The teacher's warm farewell contrasts sharply with the undercurrents of tension. Some students extend friendship. Others sharpen their knives. Welcome to high school, where survival takes many forms. Yangshan reassures the nervous newcomer about Jaehyung's attempted trip. I saw how he tried to trip you just now, he explains. The social map unfolds. Jaehyung Lee and his ally Ijin Yu are the class troublemakers to watch. But there's relief in Yangshan's friendship and the simple announcement that math comes first. Normal teenage concerns feel almost peaceful. Ijin settles into the rhythm of academic life. Sure thing, he responds to offers of help. He seems nice. What a relief, he thinks, grateful for Yangshan's kindness. The elderly math teacher instructs them to open textbooks to page 47, writing equations on the chalkboard. Students yawn and drift. For a moment, this feels almost normal. But Ijin's battle instincts never truly rest. Even in the calm of math class, he observes everything. The way students take notes, how they giggle over phones, the casual atmosphere of safety. His gray hair and serious expression mark him as different. Fweep, fweep. Sudden sounds make him tense. Old habits die hard. Very hard. The school day ends on the grassy yard, students gathering in casual groups. But Ijin's mind drifts to darker memories. Zen, shadows, fear in white-haired faces. The sound effects, SWO and H echo like phantom gunfire. Huddled figures in the darkness remind him of everything he's trying to leave behind. The past and present blur dangerously. Pow pow. Flashes of combat gear and gunfire tear through his consciousness. A scarred teenager grips a weapon, his young face marked by violence. But then Ijin looks out the window at peaceful Korea. This land, it's peaceful here, he realizes. Students walk together happily toward school. Such a simple thing, safety, something he's forgotten how to take for granted. Outside the school gate, a cheerful connection forms. Ijin approaches a brown-haired girl, asking if she was waiting for him. Her surprised gives way to bashful agreement when he suggests walking home together. The late afternoon light warms the scene as other students pass by. Simple human interaction, something more precious than any battlefield victory. The walk home reveals vulnerable moments. She admits the situation feels awkward, but Ijin reassures her it's not so bad. You don't have to feel bad about it, he tells her gently. The setting sun frames their conversation, highlighting the tentative connection forming between two guarded souls. Sometimes the smallest kindnesses matter most. Near a bustling cafe, anxiety builds as Daeyeon repeatedly asks when Huijin will arrive. Her brown bob frames a worried face as Ijin grows irritated by the 100th repetition. For the 100th time, she's on her way, he snaps. But when someone calls out Daeyeon Yu, the atmosphere shifts. Recognition, connection, and perhaps trouble. At the food stall, social dynamics explode into view. A girl with a dark bun teasingly asks about Daeyeon's boyfriend, sending Daeyeon into flustered denial. And no, it's not. He's just my brother. The revelation shocks everyone. They never knew she had a brother. Suddenly, Ijin becomes the center of attention. And attention in high school can be dangerous. The mood darkens instantly. I'm asking you if you seriously think that I'm your friend, someone sneers. Daeyeon looks surprised while Ijin's serious expression hardens. A muscular antagonist warns him to watch himself or get hurt. A girl with hair roller scoffs at the brewing confrontation. The peaceful moment shatters like glass. Inside the food establishment, tensions reach a breaking point. He's still staring at US. Someone hisses. Are they trying to initiate a fight? The white-jacketed aggressor can't tolerate the moron anymore. Ijin stands with arms crossed, calculating every angle. He recognizes the reckless posture, the exposed vital points. Amateur hour, but still dangerous. Ijin's tactical mind analyzes the threat. Exposed, unarmed, leaving vital points open. Doesn't even have a weapon either, he notes. The enemy's reckless positioning defies military logic. Why is he so rash? Ijin wonders, even as a muscular man grabs another boy by the collar. Maybe you should just walk away. But some fights choose you. Desperate explanations tumble forth. My brother lived overseas for most of his life, someone pleads, tried to excuse the cultural misunderstanding. But the slick-back antagonist doesn't care about overseas experiences. What the hell does that have to do with me? The girl with the bun smirks at the drama, while another trembles in distress. Words won't solve this. Violence erupts without warning. Smack! The girl gasps in shock as the confrontation turns physical. HHK. The F***. My wrist. It hurts like hell. Someone screams as Ijin's defensive instincts activate. A bag hits the ground with a thud. The girl turns to him, calling his name. The moment of choice has arrived. There's no walking away now. With deadly calm, Ijin instructs Daeyeon to wait. Wait here for a minute. Her startled is met with gentle reassurance. Just 1 minute. But fury erupts as the aggressor charges. You mother, kapow. The sound of impact echoes through the air. 1 minute. That's all Ijin needs to end this. Bodies tumble. Ijin sighs heavily, the weight of broken promises crushing his chest. Well, there goes my promise to Major Kang. The green-haired victim writhes on the ground, his white shirt stained crimson. Another man's face twists with rage and pain. In trying to protect his sister, Ijin has revealed exactly what he came to Korea to hide. What the hell is this? Someone gasps in disbelief. The scene shifts from chaos to serene sunset, then to military training grounds where soldiers march in formation. 1, 2, they count, their voices echoing across the base. A muscular blonde soldier asks his companion, "Isn't IT today?" The question hangs in the air like an omen. Back at the military base, concern grows for Ijin's first day of civilian life. We trained him for 6 months, but I can't help worrying, one soldier admits. They hope their harsh life survivor will adapt to Korean society. But even as they speak of adaptation, violence erupts in the school. Couple. Bam. Tumble. Some habits run deeper than training. The aftermath is swift and brutal. Ijin sighs again about his broken promise to Major Kang as a dark-haired victim lies unconscious on the floor, eyes rolled back. Did he really faint with just a single blow? Someone asks in amazement. The blonde man steps forward while the brown-haired girl stares in shock. 1 punch, 1 broken promise, 1 revealed secret. The cafe becomes a war zone as multiple attackers engage Ijin simultaneously. Pow! His precise strikes disable opponents with surgical efficiency. Ack! Bodies fly through the air, crashing into tables with tremendous force. Beck! Bam! Cups shatter as grown men tumble like ragdolls. The woman with hair rollers watches wide-eyed, unable to comprehend the violence unfolding before her. In the aftermath, stunned silence fills the air. The girl with the bun stares at Ijin's tall, slender frame, his spiky silver hair and serious expression unchanged by the carnage. She stammers, sweat beading on her forehead. Another girl asks in bewilderment, "What just happened?" Time seemed to stop. Reality feels fractured. Ijin approaches Daeyeon with gentle concern, apologizing for startling her. Sorry, did I startle you? Her nervous, huh? And no, I'm okay doesn't fool him. With characteristic thoughtfulness, he suggests getting snacks from a nearby store, asking about her preferences. The violence is over. Now comes the harder part, pretending to be normal. As they prepare to leave, Daeyeon suggests heading home, nervously clutching her belongings. Ijin agrees with a warm sure, accepting the item she offers with genuine gratitude. But a girl with pink curls watches from the side, her concerned expression revealing the truth. Nothing will ever be the same. The teenage mercenary has revealed himself, and Korea will never be ready for what comes next. But not everyone walks away unscathed. The blonde antagonist stands frozen, his mind reeling from what he just witnessed. How could that same guy who smirked at him moments ago become something else entirely? A girl beside him tries to maintain normalcy, bidding farewell with forced cheer. Yet the tension lingers. Eyes watch. Questions burn. As Daeyeon and Ijin walk through the residential streets, the setting sun paints everything in gentle pastels. But her curiosity won't stay silent. She asks him directly about what happened to those guys. Ijin's simple, yet confirms her suspicions. Strange, she thinks aloud. He doesn't seem like the type to pick fights. Yet here they are, walking in the aftermath of violence. Ijin presses deeper. Why did she stare at him like that during the fight? Daeyeon's answer reveals her gentle heart. She thought they were causing him trouble. The honesty in her voice cuts through his defenses. As they walk side by side, something shifts. Her embarrassed blush, her downcast eyes. Even a killer can recognize innocence when he sees it. Home should be sanctuary. In their cozy kitchen, Ijin insists on handling the dishes himself, his grandfather watching with concerned eyes. This isn't normal teenage behavior. The way he takes control, the way he refuses help, old habits die hard. Even in domestic peace, the mercenaries need to be self-sufficient shows through every action. Grandfather's humility about his cooking touches something deep in Ijin. This elderly man, worrying about whether dinner was good enough, while Ijin has eaten rations in war zones. The warmth of family appreciation fills the kitchen. Daeyeon's agreement that every meal has been delicious brings visible relief to their grandfather's weathered features. Simple moments, precious beyond measure. The careful probing begins. How was your first day of school? Grandfather asks with genuine interest. Ijin's hesitation speaks volumes. How do you explain violence to someone who only wants your happiness? His eventual admission that it was good brings satisfaction to the elder's face. Some truths are better left unspoken. Night brings reflection and overwhelming gratitude. As Ijin lies in bed, his grandfather's words echo. I'm so glad you made it back home alive. The elder's hands on his face, the warmth of unconditional love. This is what he fought to return to. Family. The word carries weight he never understood as a child soldier. Family. The word barely leaves his lips when reality crashes back. Alarms blare in his memory. The familiar sounds of chaos, of systems failing, of something going terribly wrong. Even in peaceful Korea, the ghosts of his mercenary past refuse to stay buried. Some wounds never truly heal. Machine gun fire erupts in his mind. Rat-a-ta-ta-ta. Explosions. Blood and smoke. A familiar red-haired figure from his past flashes before him. Someone who should be dead. The nightmare grips him with violent intensity until he jolts awake. Gasping. Sweating. The mercenary's past refuses to stay buried. Must be a dream, he tells himself, holding his head as sweat beads on his forehead. But the alarm clock's relentless ticking seems to mock his denial. In the dim bedroom, reality and nightmare blur together. The rattling sound from somewhere in the house only amplifies his unease. Some dreams feel too real to ignore. Morning light brings questions. Ijin emerges from his room, disheveled and concerned, asking about their grandfather's whereabouts. Daeyeon, cheerful in her tomato print apron, explains he left for work at dawn. This is his first day back after taking time off to welcome Ijin home. The weight of sacrifice settles heavily on Ijin's shoulders. Duty calls, even for reformed killers. Ijin prepares to leave early for school, the domestic routine feeling surreal after years of combat. Dayan's reminder about breakfast on the table, her caring concern. This is the life worth protecting. As the modern school building looms ahead, two worlds prepare to collide once again. But chaos has already erupted elsewhere. Students discuss the transfer student with nervous energy. Dayan's brother, they realize. An injured boy groans over an overturned chair while his friend calls out in concern. The devastating question hangs in the air. How could someone knock them out with a single punch? Fear spreads like wildfire through the school. Ijin faces interrogation about Dayan's situation, her anxiety visible in every nervous gulp. The suggestion to stop picking on Dayan meets with resistance, but that look in Ijin's eyes, it scared them to their core. The school's power dynamics shift like sand. When a mercenary enters your world, old rules no longer apply.
Violence begets violence. A sharp slap echoes through the hallway as the brown-haired girl cries out in pain. The blonde antagonist asserts dominance, demanding the victim follow her. Confusion and fear dance in the target's eyes as she asks where they're going. The gray-haired bully's sarcastic comment about having a brother cuts deep. Protection has become a double-edged sword.
The ultimatum is clear. Follow quietly or face consequences here and now. A vicious kick sends the pink-haired girl tumbling backward with a startled shriek. The blonde's reprimand is brutal. Didn't she tell Dayan to keep her head down? The recycling station becomes a stage for cruelty as power flexes its muscles. Mockery drips from every word. The blonde taunts Dayan about her brother, thinking he's tough, phone in hand like a weapon. Her dark-haired companion's worried expression deepens as terrible implications unfold. Who did Ijin screw with yesterday? The answer chills. They're brother's friends. The web of retribution tightens around them all. Ijin's desperation explodes as she demands to know their intentions toward her brother. The blonde's response is a vicious verbal assault that leaves no room for misunderstanding. As the confrontation escalates against a dramatic red backdrop, one truth becomes crystal clear. Ijin is in trouble because of her. The guilt weighs heavier than any physical blow. The hunt begins. A blonde girl feels an ominous sensation while another types frantically at her computer. Whispers and murmurs fill the school corridors as news spreads. Outside classroom 3-2, the atmosphere crackles with anticipation. Students sense something big is coming. The predators are gathering, and their prey has no idea what's waiting for him. They move like wolves. A group of boys in rolled-up sleeves prowls the corridor, their intentions written in cold stares and clenched fists. The curly-haired leader flanked by his pack, the red-haired accomplice with his confident smirk, and then chaos. Dayan bursts into the classroom, breathless and panicked, calling for Ijin. The collision of worlds has begun. Ijin's protective instincts flare at his sister's distress. But Dayan's outburst reveals deep frustration. Her sister only whines and nags, never understanding her struggles. The red-haired antagonist's sarcastic question about sibling worry strikes a nerve. When family becomes both shield and burden, every relationship grows complicated. Some protection comes with a price. Doubt festers like poison. The blonde's cutting remark about getting beaten hangs in the air while Ijin processes the devastating implications. Her wide-eyed realization speaks volumes. She's beginning to understand the true scope of what's coming. The shadowy corridor and stark lighting mirror her growing fear. Room 3-2 awaits like a judgment chamber. Oblivious to the storm brewing outside, students engage in typical classroom chaos. Paper airplanes become weapons in mock warfare as boys boast about headshots and AK-47s. The nervous student sweating in his blazer, the confident gamer requesting erasers. Normal teenage life continues while danger circles ever closer. Innocence has no idea what's coming. The games grow more intense. Toy guns fly through the air with whooshing sounds, striking targets with satisfying thwacks. Boys celebrate their virtual victories with crude enthusiasm, comparing pistols to assault rifles. The competitive atmosphere builds as makeshift weapons become tools of dominance. Even in play, the hierarchy of violence asserts itself. Then comes the M4 carbine, wielded by the grinning redhead with dangerous enthusiasm. The whoosh of his swing cuts through the air before connecting with a devastating thwack. Confusion spreads as students realize this isn't just a game anymore. The startled expressions and worried glances reveal a shift. When does play become something darker? Frustration reaches its breaking point. The red-haired girl's malicious smirk reveals her true feelings as that bastard starts to get on her nerves. The blonde's suggestion to talk sense into him after school carries ominous undertones. As concerned questions float through the bright classroom, plans solidify. Sometimes talking requires more than words. Innocent friendship blooms amidst the brewing storm. Ijin's classmate asks about after-school plans, but family duty calls first. He must walk home with his sister, he explains. The revelation that Ijin Yu is his sister brings excited recognition. In a school this size, everyone knows everyone, and everyone knows everyone's business. Recognition brings terrible understanding. The mention of Ijin Yu as a first-year student triggers alarm in her classmates' eyes. The truth spills out. She's not having the best time at school these days. The gravity of the situation settles like a stone in Ijin's chest. His sister's suffering has been hidden in plain sight. The full scope of evil reveals itself. Jisoo Kim, one of the worst thugs in school, has made Dane's life hell. The senseless cruelty hits home. She's being bullied simply because someone else liked a boy who happened to like her. Arbitrary violence, meaningless suffering. The machine of teenage cruelty grinds forward without logic or mercy. In a warm dining room, grandfather beams with pride as he praises Dane's academic performance. Her enthusiastic responses mask deeper struggles as she insists everything is fine. The loving family atmosphere contrasts sharply with the hell she endures daily. Sometimes the people who love us most are the ones we can least afford to worry. Violence erupts without warning. The loud wham of an overturned chair shatters the classroom's calm as Ijin watches with surprise etched on his features. Students react with shock and curiosity as confrontation spills into their sanctuary. The question hangs heavy. What are you guys doing in our class? The answer? Just taking care of business. Fear ripples through the crowd as Jisoo Kim's presence changes everything. Whispers of recognition spread. He's here, and that means trouble. The red-haired antagonist's crude assessment of his fallen comrades stings with bitter truth. How could a scrawny nobody hand their asses to them? The hierarchy of violence demands answers. The puppet master reveals himself. Jisoo Kim stands calm and composed, his sleek appearance masking deadly intent. The orange-haired lackey calls for backup, while nervous sweat beads on nearby faces. When someone pisses off Jisoo Kim, consequences follow. The formal introduction carries the weight of a death sentence. This is no ordinary school confrontation. Orders are barked like military commands. The red-haired boy demands action against the insolent stare, urging his crew to move. Footsteps echo ominously as someone approaches. Then Dane's desperate cry cuts through everything. Ijin. Her breathless arrival shifts the entire dynamic. The concerned recognition in his voice says everything. Daeyeon. Family changes every equation. The aftermath speaks volumes. Students bear the evidence of recent violence, disheveled clothes, worried expressions, the tangible fear that follows brutality. They mock Huijin's devotion to her brother, while he dismisses his sister's concern with typical teenage arrogance. The blonde's cutting observation lingers. I'll worry when you actually get your ass beat. How prophetic those words will prove. Guilt weighs heavier than any physical blow. Jisoo's apology to Ijin carries genuine remorse as he accepts responsibility for dragging him into this mess. The orange-haired antagonist stands tense among his crew while the curly-haired girl shows visible distress. But the blonde's dismissive, what a drama queen, reveals how little she understands what's really at stake. Dayan's wisdom shines through her fear. "You have nothing to be sorry for," she tells him with quiet strength. But words can't stop what comes next. The muscular boy's punch connects with a devastating thwack as chaos erupts. Students stumble and fall as violence spreads like wildfire. Through it all, one voice cuts clear. They're the ones who should be sorry, not you. Fury unleashes itself in brutal efficiency. The green-haired attacker dashes forward with lethal intent, his kapow strike connecting with devastating force. The victim's crude curse dissolves into choking gasps as impact renders him helpless. Something drops with a hollow sound as coughing fits rack his frame. In shadowy hallways, justice wears many faces. The violence escalates beyond all reason. "Bastard!" someone screams as bodies clash with devastating force. Whoosh becomes kabam as strikes land with bone-crushing impact. The kerplunk of falling bodies echoes through the corridor while shocked voices demand understanding. What the hell just happened? The question hangs unanswered as chaos reigns supreme. In the aftermath, stunned silence reigns. Students stare at the body on the floor while confused voices demand answers. What has happened? The blonde's shock mirrors everyone else's disbelief as the scope of destruction becomes clear. Whispered conversations spread through the crowd like wildfire. When violence erupts in sacred spaces, nothing feels safe anymore. The truth cuts deeper than any blade. Ijin's calm acknowledgement that his sister has been suffering thanks to them carries quiet menace. The orange-haired boy flinches at the implication while tension builds to unbearable levels. So you're not just some pushover, the observation hangs in the air. The classroom becomes a battleground where two worlds collide. Silence becomes its own weapon. Ijin observes the chaos with mechanical calm, while aggressive demands for answers fill the air. The red-haired attacker launches himself forward, certain of victory. But his triumphant "I nailed him" becomes shocked realization as a strike is effortlessly blocked. He won't see the next one coming. Overconfidence breeds its own destruction. Swift justice strikes without mercy. The swoosh of movement becomes thwack of connection as trained reflexes demolish amateur aggression. Each strike lands with surgical precision, a kick to the stomach, a devastating punch, the heavy thud of bodies hitting ground. When a mercenary finally acts, the violence is both beautiful and terrible to behold. Blood marks the price of arrogance. The orange-haired boy sits clutching his head, crimson staining his fingers as reality crashes down. His shocked curse barely escapes bloodied lips before the final blow lands. Kapow! The sound of accounts being settled. In the dim red lighting, Ijin's expression remains utterly serene. This is what happens when you threaten family. The impossible becomes reality. Jisoo Kim, the school's most feared bully, lies unconscious on the hallway floor. Students gasp in disbelief as the magnitude of what just happened sinks in. Holy shit, is this for real? He just knocked out Jisoo Kim. The hierarchy of violence has been shattered by a quiet transfer student who moves like death itself. Fear spreads like wildfire through the watching crowd. What the hell is this? They wonder as Ijin stands unmoved by the chaos around him. The blonde girl grips her friend's hand, terror evident in both their faces. Is he going to hit me too? The question reveals the new reality. When a predator enters the food chain, everyone becomes prey. Dayan's desperate plea cuts through the tension as she begs Ijin to stop. But his quiet observation forces her to face an uncomfortable truth. They've been bullying her all this time. Her wide-eyed surprise reveals the painful reality she's tried to hide. How could he know what she's endured? Some secrets are written in suffering. The storm finally breaks as Dayan tries to minimize her pain. "Wait," she pleads, insisting she's fine now. Really she is. But her brother's frustrated. "Just stop," please, reveals how much her suffering has affected him too. "Okay, let's go." The simple words mark an end to pretense. Sometimes protection means acknowledging the hurt you've tried to hide. As Ijin escorts his sister to her homeroom, the school buzzes with shocked aftermath. Students struggle to process what they witnessed. How did one person take down an entire group? The new kid is pretty hardcore. They whisper with mixture of fear and awe. In a space of minutes, everything has changed. The teenage mercenary has announced himself. In a corridor lined with unconscious bodies, bitter truth emerges. The blonde's frustrated curse at her fucking idiots echoes as Daeyeon apologizes once again. For what? Ijin asks, but she knows for dragging him into this mess. Yesterday's fight, today's violence, all because of her. But some battles choose us whether we want them or not. Ijin's voice cuts through the silence with chilling certainty. Don't say that. It's supposed to be this way. His words carry the weight of a past soaked in blood and betrayal. Back where he used to live, everyone only cared about themselves. They never cared what happened to others, unless their own families were involved. Their families? Daeyeon's voice trembles with realization. The question hangs in the air as memories explode behind Ijin's eyes. Gunfire, chaos, the deafening roar of war. It always made him wonder, what drives people to care only when blood ties are threatened? What is family, and why is it so important? The question echoes from a blood-soaked battlefield where a young Ijin once stood, weapon in hand. But here now his voice softens. He doesn't remember much from back then. But one thing remains crystal clear, their family. The corridor still buzzes with aftermath as Ijin escorts Daeyeon to safety. She insists she's fine now, urging him back to class. But he was always planning to walk her to her homeroom. When they reach classroom 1 to 5, she smiles softly. See you later. Such simple words hiding so much complexity. He's back. The whispers start before Ijin even enters his classroom. Students lean forward, eyes wide with fascination and fear. Dude, you beat those bastards so hard. What did they teach you overseas? The questions pour out like water through a dam. They have no idea what they're really asking. You were fucking awesome. His classmates' enthusiasm fills the room, but Ijin's expression remains measured. To be honest, I thought you were pretty awesome too. The compliment lands just as a fist slams down on the desk. Wham! The sound echoes like a warning shot. Across town, rage simmers in a dimly lit room. Four figures gather around a table, their faces twisted with humiliation. Are you just going to keep sitting around like this? The blonde girl's voice cuts through their brooding. He's just one moron. But when someone tries to calm the storm, shut your trap. Excuse me? The confrontation explodes as the blonde girl faces down the red-haired boy's fury. Don't take it out on me just 'cause you got your asses handed to you. Her words hit like daggers. What did you just say? But she's already walking away. Slam. The door speaks her final answer. Goddamn, losers. Her anger echoes through the hallway as she storms past other students. They're the ones that couldn't even handle one guy. The irony burns. Meanwhile, Ijin walks calmly with his classmate, unaware of the storm brewing. Then, slam. The sound makes everyone jump. Well, aren't you lucky, Daeyeon? The blonde girl's voice drips with false sweetness as she corners her target. Now you can come to school without a care in the world. You can just go running to your big brother. Am I wrong? Daeyeon's bruised face says everything her silence cannot. And now I just have to let her do whatever the hell she wants? The blonde girl's fury reaches its peak, her lab coat unable to hide the rage beneath. Other students watch nervously as her voice rises. Like hell I will. The declaration rings out like a battle cry. They're the ones who should be sorry, not you. Ijin's voice carries quiet conviction as they walk through the schoolyard. We're a family. The words hit Daeyeon like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. Then, does this mean I can come to? Hope flickers in her eyes for the first time. What took you so long? The red-haired girl's accusation rings out as she confronts another student. I'm standing because of you. Don't you fucking dare talk back to me. But elsewhere, a darker question haunts Daeyeon's thoughts. Does this mean they won't hurt me anymore? The answer feels impossibly distant. Sorry. I didn't hear you. Dayan's nervousness shows as Ijin waits patiently by the school entrance. Were you waiting for me again? His smile is answer enough. He doesn't know the way home yet. They discuss groceries for Grandpa, but watching eyes burn with jealousy from the shadows. We'll see how long that smile lasts. The blonde girl's smirk promises trouble as she watches from the grocery store. Meanwhile, Dayan contemplates her choices, unaware of the threat. Other students whisper in amazement. Which school is he from? Just wow. Ijin's reputation precedes him everywhere. I knew he was pretty popular at school, but it looks like he stands out outside too. Dayan's curiosity leads to a personal question. Ijin, did you ever have a girlfriend back home? His confusion about the term reveals just how isolated his past really was. Not a friend who's a girl, someone you were dating. I was busy. Ijin's simple response carries the weight of survival itself. When he turns the question around, do you have a boyfriend? Dayan's surprised reaction is almost comical. Huh? Oh no. The innocence of teenage concerns feels surreal after everything they've both endured. I was busy too. Dayan smiles as she hands him a sleek black Samsung Galaxy box. Here you go, Ijin. His surprise is genuine, a gift from Grandpa, who wanted to make sure the boy who had nothing could finally connect with the world. All the kids have one like that nowadays. The latest model. Dayan explains that she already saved their numbers in his phone. Ijin's amazement shows. He usually helps Grandpa with technology because the old man forgets. Well, the salesperson helped me. Why didn't you ask them to help you too? The gentle teasing reveals their growing bond. I heard that opening new things matters a lot to young people nowadays. Grandpa's thoughtfulness touches them both. I hope it's okay that I open the box to save our numbers. Of course it is. The phone represents more than technology. It's belonging, connection, family. Mine's still good. Dayan insists when Grandpa offers her one too. Thank you. I really like it. Ijin's quiet gratitude fills the room as Grandpa beams with satisfaction. Later, alone in his room, the phone rests on his desk. In bed, he stares at the device, this bridge to a normal life. The soft blue glow illuminates his contemplative face. Who's texting me this late? At the school, a teacher checks his phone with surprise. Huh, Ijin has a new number. But didn't you already get him a phone? I did. The confusion deepens. No way. I got him the most expensive one they had. Kids these days and their brand preferences. See you later. Dayan rushes out the door, backpack bouncing as she hurries to school. You're leaving this early again? Ijin calls after her, towel draped over his head from his morning routine. Yeah, and I'm late. Leave the dishes in the sink. Their domestic banter feels beautifully normal. Clack. Wham. Looks like I'll make it right on time. Dayan checks her phone, 7:25, as she hurries down the street. Making soup for Grandpa took longer than expected, but seeing his grateful face made every early morning minute worth it. You didn't have to lose sleep just to make me breakfast. I'm just glad I could do something nice. The morning shatters. Kya. Dayan's scream pierces the air as she collides with three hooded figures in the alley. Better watch where you're going, bitch. You almost broke my ankle. Ow. She clutches her ankle, pain radiating through her body. Well, aren't you going to apologize? I'm sorry. Don't give me that shit, bitch. The masked figure's voice drips with malice. Apologize like you fucking mean it. Fear grips Dayan's throat. Hey, why don't we let off some steam at karaoke? Great idea. I definitely need to de-stress. Then she recognizes the voice. Ijin. The name burns in her mind. Man, my voice was so bad today. As opposed to any other day, the karaoke venue buzzes with normal teenage chatter. Come again. But beneath the surface, darkness festers. Don't know why they were screaming through all their songs. Kids these days. Then silence. A body hits the floor. Unconscious. Vulnerable. Hey, are you all right? A concerned stranger finds Dayan crouched on the convenience store floor, her white shirt stained with evidence of violence. Yes, but the lie is written across her battered body. No, you don't look okay at all. Hold on, I'll call an ambulance. I'm fine. The words echo hollow. Has anyone seen Daeyeon? The question hangs in the classroom air like a death knell. She's not here today. That's strange. She wouldn't miss school without calling. Meanwhile, the perpetrators sit in their own classroom, anxiety gnawing at their conscience. You think we'll be okay? Why wouldn't we be? Click. The blonde girl's pen clicks with predatory rhythm as the school bell rings. Ding ding. Students flood out, their chatter filling the air. But one person moves with purpose. The hunt begins anew. Her confident stride suggests this is far from over. Does she go home already? Ijin stands outside, concern creasing his features as he reaches for his phone. Dan. The name glows on the screen. Buzz. Buzz. But in a darkened room, the call goes unanswered. A figure lies motionless under blankets, the phone's insistent buzzing failing to penetrate the silence. She's home. The simple observation carries weight as Ijin notices Dane's sneakers by the door. Something isn't right. The silence feels too heavy, too deliberate. He approaches the door with careful steps. Knock, knock. The sound echoes like a question he's afraid to ask. Daeyeon. His voice carries through the door, gentle but insistent. Oh, you're home, Ijin? Her response comes muffled from within. Yeah, I tried calling you, but you didn't answer. Sorry, I was asleep. The excuse feels rehearsed. Too convenient. Something is wrong. No, I can't. I'm in bed because I'm not feeling well. Are you sick? How bad is it? It's just a slight fever. I'll be fine once I get some sleep. Ijin offers to get medicine, his protective instincts firing. But then stop. The word cuts through his caring like a blade. His eyes fall to the shoes by her door. One pair clean and white. The other, his blood runs cold. Dark stains. Unmistakable. Blood. On her sneakers. The first aid kit nearby tells a story she's desperately trying to hide. Then from inside, OW. The sound pierces through her lies. Is it really bad? And no, it just stings a little. Daeyeon sits on her bed, bandaged and bruised, still trying to minimize the damage. You should be more careful. She laughs weakly, claiming she fell downstairs while dodging a bicycle. The lie tastes bitter, but Ijin's trained eyes see everything she's hiding. I need to go to the hospital, but instead of medical care, Daeyeon finds herself in an interrogation room. Why am I in trouble? Because you did this. No, I didn't. The blonde girl's accusations fly like arrows. You covered your face with a hat and mask, but I know it was you. You're just assuming it was me, even though you didn't see the person's actual face. The woman in the checkered suit fights back with legal precision. Just because you and I haven't exactly been friends? Daeyeon, did you see the face of the person who assaulted you? Their face was covered. What is the meaning of all this? There's no doubt that it was Ijin, but why won't anyone believe me? Desperation creeps into Dane's voice as the adults dismiss her claims. Apologize to my daughter immediately. Who taught you to pull such wicked tricks? Would you look at her bad manners? Truth drowns in adult certainty. It's the same situation again, since I don't have any proof. Daeyeon's voice breaks with the weight of injustice. Back home, Ijin takes her hand gently. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. But they both know the bruises tell a different story. They'll hurt for a few days, he notes with professional assessment. Gosh, you're really good with this stuff. Is it not too tight? It's perfect. Ijin's medical training shows as he tends to her wounds. I just hope Grandpa doesn't get too upset. He has a weak heart. The concern for others, even in her own pain, reveals Daeyeon's selfless nature. Thanks. I did the right thing by not telling him. The woman from earlier sits defeated, bruises marking her own encounter with consequences. Ijin stands nearby, his expression hard as granite. There's just nothing a couple of teenagers like us can do about this. But his eyes suggest otherwise. Boom! The sound reverberates through Club Wolf as tension reaches breaking point. The whole school's talking about yesterday, how he managed to beat up every one of us. Our only problem was that we underestimated that bastard. We could take him if we plan ahead. So what's your plan now, Jisoo? Yeah, man. We can't just let him get away with this. Pink hair catches the club's neon lights as the group feeds off each other's anger. He won't stand a chance against all of us. All right, fuck it. Going one-on-one isn't our style. To hell with it. The decision is made. War is coming. What? The red-haired boy's disbelief crackles through the phone. Jisoo, are you and your idiots still sitting around at the club? Tell me what you want, or I'm hanging up. You owe me big time. What are you talking about? The pieces of a larger conspiracy begin falling into place. You did good. The pink-haired leader's approval carries our promise. We were planning on paying that damn bastard a visit anyway. Huh? What the? Who does he think he is, walking into our turf? The conversation takes an unexpected turn. Someone has made the first move. What are you talking about? But before explanations can come, the club erupts. Well, fuck me. You know, I was dying for a rematch with HHHH. The sound of impact cuts through words. Wham! Violence explodes as someone has walked straight into the lion's den. Bam! Fists fly as chaos erupts in the neon-lit club. The pink-haired leader's voice roars above the mayhem. Fuck, just get him. Bodies scatter like leaves in a hurricane. But this isn't random violence. This is calculated, precise, professional. Someone has come to collect a debt. Pow! Thud! Ack! Wham! The sounds of combat echo through the club as the pink-haired leader discovers he's not the apex predator he thought he was. Every strike lands with surgical precision. Every movement calculated for maximum damage. This isn't a fight. It's an execution. Eek! Terror replaces bravado as the muscular thug realizes he's outmatched. Couple! Snap! Whoosh! The pink-haired leader's crew falls one by one. In the strobing lights of Club Wolf, a teenage mercenary reminds them all of a simple truth. Some people aren't meant to be crossed, and they just crossed the wrong one. But the pink-haired leader isn't finished yet. Pain flashes across his face as the muscular enforcer clamps down on his wrist like a vice. A grunt of agony escapes his lips. Then, retaliation. Swift, brutal. His free hand rockets forward, landing with a bone-crushing BM that sends his attacker stumbling backward. Thwack! Another player enters the game. A man in a blue jacket delivers a devastating blow that leaves his target bloodied and broken. The silver-haired boy staggers backward, startled by the sudden violence. The pink-haired leader stares in disbelief, his phone buzzing with urgent messages from his crew. Where the hell did he come from? The red-haired thug with the teardrop tattoo snarls in frustration. Ganging up on him didn't do anything. This kid outmaneuvered them all. Jisoo Kim stands cool and collected, his silver hair catching the club lights. He recalls his warning about leaving his sister alone. But now the truth becomes clear. This wasn't random violence. The pink-haired leader's voice cracks with rage and confusion. How could anyone defeat someone like that? What did his sister ever do to deserve this? Glass shatters behind him as he hurls accusations like weapons. But Jisoo remains unmoved, claiming ignorance. The tension reaches a breaking point as desperate hands grab for answers. Pow! The pink-haired fighter's fist connects with devastating force. His opponent staggers, blood trickling from the impact. But pain only fuels more rage. The fighter's face contorts with fury as he screams an expletive that echoes through the chaos. Couple. Another brutal exchange rocks the foundation of Club Wolf itself. The red-haired fighter gasps for breath, blood staining his blue shirt. His chest heaves with exhaustion while his opponent stands untouched, not even winded. The accusation cuts deep. Did he really have to harass such a helpless girl? Rage consumes him completely. A sharp object splinters with a deadly crack as he roars his final threat. Smack! The confrontation reaches its violent climax. The ash-gray-haired boy watches as the red-haired fighter slams against the surface in desperation. Then, a chokehold. The restraining grip tightens around the fighter's throat, forcing out a pained cry. Boom! A final, decisive move promises to end this brutal dance once and for all. Blood streams from the pink-haired fighter's mouth as he clutches his throat, choking out desperate gasps. His opponent applies relentless pressure, gritting his teeth in frustrated determination. The question hangs in the air like smoke. What should I do with you? The explosive red background mirrors the violence consuming them both. This is your final warning. The pink-haired boy's voice carries the weight of absolute certainty. If he so much as hears a rumor about his sister being threatened again, he'll be back. And next time, he won't hold back. The muscular fighter gasps for air beneath him, terror replacing his earlier bravado completely. Coughing, blood, defeat. The red-haired fighter's hands tremble as he struggles to breathe, his face a canvas of pain and humiliation. Around him, bodies lie scattered across Club Wolf's floor. The sound of sneakers against concrete echoes as someone prepares to leave this scene of devastation behind. The night's work is done. What the hell was going on? The blonde girl stares at Club Wolf's neon-lit entrance, confusion written across her face. Her companion shares the bewilderment. Then footsteps. Slow, deliberate. A figure with ash-gray hair emerges from the shadows, each step echoing with ominous intent. The girls freeze. Something terrible has just unfolded inside. Don't come any closer. The blonde girl's voice cracks with fear as she raises her hands defensively. Her pink sneakers scrape against the club floor as she stumbles backward. Panic courses through her veins. He can't prove that she beat up Daeyeon. Can he? The colorful lights of Club Wolf suddenly feel like a prison's bars. The pink-haired boy delivers his ultimatum with ice-cold precision. If he hears even a whisper about anyone going near his sister, he'll return. In the background, two girls watch in stunned silence, their eyes wide with shock. Meanwhile, Ijin answers his grandfather's call with calm professionalism. Sure, he says simply, I'm on my way. The blonde woman kneels beside the broken red-haired fighter, her face etched with worry and alarm. What happened? She demands, but the answer is written in blood and bruises. Another fighter approaches, asking the obvious question that cuts like a knife. Did you get hooped by that bastard again? The nightclub's chaos tells its own story. The blonde woman's fury erupts like a volcano. That girl, that sister, just leave her alone. Her companion demands answers while the red-haired fighter bows his head in shame. Are you afraid of that bastard now? She screams, her voice echoing with rage and disbelief. The humiliation stings worse than any physical blow. Terror fills the blonde girl's wide eyes as reality crashes down around her. The dark-haired boy's warning rings in the air. If you even go near that girl, I'll personally destroy you myself. You hear me? The protective fury in his voice sends chills down her spine. Outside, a lone lamppost glows like a sentinel in the darkness. Under the soft glow of streetlights, two men sit in solemn conversation. The grandfather apologizes for pulling Ijin away from his friends, but something more pressing demands attention. Daeyeon got injured, he explains quietly. She claimed it was an accident, but the old man's instincts whisper otherwise. The night air carries unspoken fears. The grandfather's weathered face reflects years of quiet sacrifice and love. Looking back on all those years, he admits, she's given me so much more than I've ever given her. His heart breaks, seeing Daeyeon hurt and hiding the truth. Ijin listens with the patience of someone who understands loss. Some burdens grow heavier with age. But also, the grandfather continues, how much she loves you too. His words carry the weight of family bonds forged in adversity. Ijin promises not to worry. He'll keep an eye on Daeyeon at school. The city lights shimmer across the water like scattered diamonds, but even beauty cannot hide the darkness that threatens their peaceful world. I'm so happy that you're here. The moment of peace shatters as the scene shifts to a hospital room. The orange-haired boy lies broken in his hospital bed, neck brace stark against his bruised skin. His mother's protective fury fills the room as she defends her son against accusations. This isn't Jisoo's fault. Find the brute who did this. Look at what he did to Huijin's arm. The blonde woman's injury serves as evidence of the violence that erupted. Her sling tells a story of bones broken and dreams shattered. The man in the suit seethes with barely contained rage, plotting retribution against the boy responsible. When I get my hands on that kid. Then what was I supposed to do? The blonde woman's frustration boils over. How could she hide her broken arm while her ally lies hospitalized? The red-haired fighter confirms the obvious. Of course he did that to her arm. Her promise rings with cold determination. She'll make sure they understand their mistake once and for all. In the school's bright hallways, adult voices plot in hushed tones. The school won't deliver justice, just a suspension or expulsion at best. But patience has run thin. It's Saturday, and waiting for bureaucratic solutions feels like surrender. The mention of Mr. Cha sends shivers through the conversation. He's been handling dirty work for years. Click. The device activates as shadows emerge from vehicles. This is just embarrassing, one figure complains, getting involved in some teenager's drama. His companion warns him to pipe down. The boss can hear everything. A scarred man with a cigarette voices the absurdity. They're asking him to handle a kid who beat up their children? My daughter has a fractured wrist and is in the hospital. The man's voice cracks with parental desperation. They can't let everything spiral from bad to worse. On a distant rooftop, another figure contemplates his choices with weary resignation. This is my life now, he sighs. If only he could just ignore her problems. Will they really let it go now? In the hospital's dim corridors, imposing figures surround Ijin and his family. What is this about? The elderly grandfather asks, anxiety written across his weathered face. The dark-suited men insist they only want to talk to Ijin. But late-night visits rarely bring good news in their world. I'll be back soon, Grandpa. Ijin's calm voice betrays none of the danger lurking beneath the surface. His sister pleads with worried eyes, but he reassures them they just need to talk for a little while. The construction site visible through the window mirrors the foundation of their peaceful life, under constant threat of demolition. Who could it be? Heavy footsteps announce the arrival of dangerous men. The lead figure, silver-haired and intimidating, flanks a seated man smoking casually. Boss, we got him, someone reports. The kid caught on pretty quick, the smoker observes with professional detachment. Then we'll make this quick for all our sakes. Click. Yes, sir. The bald enforcer moves to restrain Ijin, while his partner brandishes a thick bat with practiced menace. We'll be nice and quick, he promises with false kindness, since you didn't hassle us. But it's gonna hurt. A shadowy figure checks his phone, already planning to text completion of their grim task. So, this is about Jisoo-Kim. The pieces fall into place in Ijin's analytical mind. The man with the pronounced jawline realizes they shouldn't have revealed details in front of the boy. But something else catches their attention. Ijin doesn't look scared at all. No emotion on his face. That cold, calculating stare. Bam! The muscular enforcer yanks Ijin's arm, expecting submission. Instead, he gets swift retaliation that rocks him backward. You little piece of trash. Rage fills the air as weapons emerge. But Ijin's expression remains unchanged, focused, determined, unbothered by their threats. I'll teach you a lesson, they snarl, not knowing who they're truly facing. He's charging toward a swinging bat? The enforcer's disbelief echoes through the alley as Ijin defies every instinct of self-preservation. Grip. His hands find their mark. Pow! The impact sends blood spattering as he turns their weapons against them. This isn't the terrified teenager they expected to intimidate. Clinch. The bald enforcer manages to grab Ijin in a restraining hold, thinking he's gained the upper hand. But even restrained, Ijin throws a calculated jab. The stern observer chuckles with grudging respect. This kid knows what he's doing. He's had experience in actual combat. Real combat, not schoolyard scuffles. Jesus, never thought I'd be fighting a teenager at my age. The scarred enforcer acknowledges what's becoming obvious. This wasn't just some average high school kid. Ijin steps forward confidently, analyzing his opponent's weaknesses with the precision of a seasoned fighter. This man's full of weak points too. Bam! The muscular enforcer prepares a strike, confidence written across his smirking features. But Ijin's movements flow like water. Swish, 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 as he dodges and counters with surgical precision. Jab. His focused expression never wavers. This is what real combat training looks like. I didn't think you'd block that one. The stocky enforcer's surprise is palpable as his supposedly decisive blow gets neutralized effortlessly. Did Ijin actually predict the move? The tactical game escalates as both fighters reassess each other. Who are you, really? The question hangs in the air like smoke from a fired gun. Just a high school student. But the observer sees through the facade. Ijin charges toward his opponent, knowing he'll take damage. That takes experience and guts. The muscular enforcer grins with renewed interest. Getting ready for the next round? Then let's see what you're really made of. Thwack! Ijin's punch connects with devastating precision. The older enforcer grimaces as the younger man's fist finds its mark. Grab! The counterattack comes swift, but BM. Another impact rocks the alley. The chaotic background erupts in red as the older man's realization dawns. No, he can't be. Pow! The muscular enforcer delivers his calculated strike, using Ijin's attacks to set up his own devastating combinations. He's using my attacks against me. Ijin realizes the tactical shift. The enforcer smirks with confidence. You think your little tricks will work on me? Thwack! Another bone-jarring impact echoes through the confrontation. Pow! Thump! The exchange reaches its crescendo as Ijin's counterstrike finds its target. The enforcer's smug demeanor crumbles along with his confidence. Blood trickles from his mouth as he realizes the tables have turned completely. Jianinn. The pain groan escapes his lips as the reality of his situation sets in. I got my ass hooped by a teenager. The defeated enforcer's admission echoes through the night. Ijin stands over him, unmoved by the victory. It's like he wasn't even rattled by the fight. Those eyes, cold, calculating, professional. I don't know where this kid came from, but those brats messed with the wrong person. Why haven't we heard from Mr. Cha yet? In the corporate office, tension builds as communication breaks down. The woman demands answers while her companion urges patience. He'll call when he's done. Put him on speaker, the blonde demands. Then the phone beeps. It's me, sir. But something in his tone suggests the unexpected. Mr. Cha's voice carries an unfamiliar note of humility. He should apologize, he insists, shocking the woman who expected victory. Our kids were attacked. She protests. But his ominous words chill the room. Your children may have meddled with the wrong person. The feared fixer, defeated by a high school student? The door creaks open, revealing a shadowy figure in the hallway. The blonde woman's fierce expression falters as doubt creeps in. I think he's more than just some average teenager, sir. The words hang heavy in the air. Thud. The sound of something substantial hitting the ground echoes ominously through the building labeled NB Kim. He's there already? The man in the car stares at his phone in disbelief. Jesus, now I'm really curious who this kid actually is. But facts are facts. A 17-year-old kid just beat him up. The humiliation burns worse than any physical wound as he contemplates the impossible reality of his defeat. It's you? The blonde woman points an accusing finger as recognition dawns. You're the one who did this to my kids. But her outrage falters when faced with a simple question. How did you get into my office? Ijin's calm presence in her supposedly secure space sends chills down her spine. The game has changed completely. Don't give us that attitude. The woman's authority crumbles as she faces someone who doesn't fear her connections. You think you can get away with anything because you're strong? She threatens to call the authorities, listing his supposed crimes. But her daughter's agreement feels hollow against Ijin's unwavering confidence. I have a pretty good idea, actually. The blonde woman smirks, playing her political card. Her husband is an assembly member running for office. Of course a kid like you won't understand what that means in the real world. But her phone call to Prosecutor Choi suggests the web of influence runs deeper than anyone imagined. Please forgive me. Terror fills another voice as violence erupts elsewhere. The sound of slaps and threats echo through a different room. Shut up. Just crush her so she never gets in our way again. Meanwhile, a young man with gray hair calmly examines his phone contemplating options that blur the line between legal and lethal. I'm going to call you back. The woman in the green jacket's voice trembles as her world collapses. But how did you get those? The blonde woman's question trails off in horror. Outside, a modern house glows in the darkness while inside, a laptop screen reveals the true extent of Ijin's capabilities. Some secrets refuse to stay buried. What happens when the powerful realize they've been outplayed? In Inbeat Kim's office, Hyojin stammers before her father, desperation dripping from every word. But her excuses die as the stern assemblyman cuts her off with brutal finality. Ijin reveals his trump card, videos of her siblings' violent conquests. Every beating, every extortion, even a vicious assault on his sister. The room goes cold. Rage explodes as the blonde woman refuses to back down. Don't you dare threaten us, she snarls. But Ijin remains ice cold, his gray eyes unwavering. This isn't a threat, it's justice served with surgical precision. He didn't start this war, but he's certainly going to finish it. The family's arrogance crumbles as their own crimes stare back at them. The assemblyman tries damage control, offering money like bandages for a severed artery, treatment costs, settlement fees, anything to make this disappear. But Ijin's response cuts deeper than any blade. That won't be necessary. The politician's confusion is palpable. What does this enigmatic boy want? Power? Revenge? Something far more devastating. True consequences. Ijin's demand is simple yet absolute. His sister will never see Hwan Kim again. Transfer them. Send them abroad. Whatever it takes. The assemblyman agrees without hesitation, but the women explode in panic. Their world is crumbling in real time. And Ijin? He wants it resolved by tomorrow. No negociation. No merci. Just cold, calculated justice. But the assemblyman isn't finished. He wants the originals. Every video, every piece of evidence. As if Ijin is some naive child he can manipulate. The man stares into those deadly gray eyes and feels something primal stir. How can a boy barely older than his own son possess such terrifying composure? You must think I'm an idiot, Ijin responds quietly. Fatal mistake. My mistake, Ijin murmurs as he turns to leave. A thunderous thud echoes through the office. What just happened? On the dimly lit street outside, another sound, clank, cuts through the night. Inside their home, his grandfather and sister rush toward him, panic written across their faces. Did they hurt you? The concern in their voices betrays their worst fears. No, Ijin answers simply, that slight smile playing at his lips. His sister Yoon, bandage still visible on her cheek, voices what they're all thinking. Those people felt dangerous. Something about them didn't feel right. But Ijin's protective instincts kick in. She should focus on healing, not on the shadows he's already vanquished. Much better, she says, and for now, that's enough. At school, Ijin delivers news that changes everything. You'll never have to fall down the stairs again. Dayoon's confused expression melts into understanding as he explains. He got rid of it all. The bullies, the threats, the fear. Outside their modern school, normalcy beckons once more. I'm basically fine now, she declares with a bright smile. The storm has passed. As they part ways for class, whispers ripple through the hallways. Did you hear? Hyojin won't be coming back. The news spreads like wildfire among students who finally dare to speak freely. Relief mingles with curiosity. Will things be normal again? The atmosphere shifts from oppressive fear to tentative hope. Sometimes the monsters just disappear. The revelation hits like lightning. Hyojin is moving abroad. Don't worry, Dayoon reassures her friend, but inside she's processing a deeper truth. You'll never have to fall down the stairs again. I got rid of it all. Those words echo in her mind as understanding dawns. He knew about me. Her brother knew all along. And he acted. In the hallway's warm light, words fail her completely. What do I even say? Her heart pounds as Ijin approaches, calm and composed as always. See you later, he says simply, but as tears well in her eyes, she understands the weight of everything he's done. See you, she whispers back. Some protectors work in shadows. Some brothers wage silent wars. And sometimes, that's enough.